right now, somebody that rarely calls Nancy Pelosi, Senator Tom Cotton. Senator, welcome. Tonight at 9 o'clock, the House is going to vote on something on your bipartisan bill, we think, even though some of our reports said they won't, on a bipartisan bill. Do you think it'll happen?
I don't know, Brian. I can confirm that I was not on the other side of that phone call with Nancy Pelosi last night. I think the House is going to have to vote so late tonight because Nancy Pelosi and her radical Democratic left are out looking for the tree around the Capitol on which all this free money grows, Brian. I mean, Joe Manchin put it well today. They want to transform this country with their socialist agenda. I mean, between the $2 trillion bill they passed in March, the $1 trillion infrastructure bill they want now, and even if you go with Joe Manchin's proposed $1.5 trillion welfare bill, that would still be $4.5 trillion of spending, Brian. That's taxes on every family in America. That's spending for illegal aliens and welfare for deadbeats who won't even look for work, much less work. I think the Democrats are realizing just how unpopular their agenda is, and that's one reason why Nancy Pelosi is struggling to corral those votes.
Senator, just so people should know, I risk confusing people. There's two separate bills. So the so-called moderates say, I want the bipartisan bill the Senate passed. You didn't vote for it, but 19 other Republicans did. And the moderates said, Nancy Pelosi, do it by the 27th of September. Well, it's September 30th, and they're going to vote today. If they don't vote for it, Kirsten Sinema and other moderates says they're out when it comes to the 3.5 or any other compromise. So if they don't have the vote tonight, even if it fails, the moderates balk. If they do have the vote, the liberals don't vote for it. So Nancy gets a fail. Joe Biden gets a loss, at least temporarily. Are they willing to risk that?
Yeah. Brian, you laid it out pretty well. I would say the Democratic Party is in disarray, but I don't want to imply that they were ever in array. This gang right now couldn't organize a one-car funeral. But the one thing they can all agree on is that they want to take more of your money and give it away for their priorities like welfare for illegals. So you should never count the Democrats out, no matter how bad it looks for them, while they're making the sausage. In the end, what they care more about is taking your money and getting more power.
So you do believe that something's going to come out of this. Did it shock you that in August, Joe Manchin put a pen to paper and handed a one-pager to Chuck Schumer and said, I'm not going to go along with 3.5, but I'll go along with 1.5. I won't actually sign off on anything until October 1st. So every time they were talking about the 3.5, what does Joe Manchin want? They knew exactly what he wanted, but just Chuck Schumer wouldn't talk about it. Bring me behind the scenes there into the cloakroom. What's happening?
Well, first off, Brian, I've never seen such a document in my entire political life. Now, it's not as long as Chuck Schumer's or Joe Manchin's, but whenever we have our differences, we talk them out. We don't sign contracts
It was weird.
with each other. But second, I think Chuck Schumer has some splaining to do to his fellow Democrats. As you pointed out, Joe Manchin's been pretty upfront with him from the beginning. Now, I strongly disagree with what Senator Manchin proposed in that memo, but Chuck Schumer's known about it now for a couple months, yet he's been leading on the far left of his caucus to believe that they were still going to go for broke with the $3.5 trillion bill. In fact, I'm beginning to wonder if maybe Chuck Schumer is hearing some footsteps from Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez in a New York primary next year.
Right. Real quick, page 168 of this 2,000-page bill, they are going to look to up vax enforcement fines from $70,000 to $700,000. That will destroy so many small businesses, you can't even count them. And the IRS goes on steroids. If you think they're just going after Amazon, you're dreaming. They're going after small business. Final thought?
Yeah, all these efforts to supercharge the bureaucracy, whether it's turning small businesses into Joe Biden's COVID police force or giving the IRS tens of billions of dollars to come after small businesses, just an effort to put more hands in the powers of bureaucrats in Washington.
We'll keep you up to date if there's going to be a vote tonight or not, but it doesn't look like if there is, it'll pass, but who knows. Senator Tom Cotton, thanks so much.
Thank you.
All right, and that was